How are you?
Hi.
We're just leaving an invitation to our special event we're having in August with everyone in the community.
Is that a Christian thing?
It is.
It's
So
not for me, thank you.
okay. Have a good day.
So I've come to the conclusion, just a rotten piece of fruit. So I'll end up dying slowly, rotting away.
I come from a family of Christians. I grew up in the Seventh Day Adventist church. My grandfather was a deacon. All my life, my family has been active in church. You know, many of them are still members of the Seventh Day Adventist church. So I grew up very religious. And at one point, I myself was a real staunch devotee. I never imagined that the day would come when I would be even speaking the way I do.
So I've come to the conclusion, I'm just one man amongst thousands.
I think one of the reasons I started to question Christianity was, well, there were two things. One was maybe about 15 years ago. I remember I was a regular member of the church at that time. I was close with many people there. I used to spend like an entire Saturday at church. And I remember I started having some real difficult times financially, difficult times in my marriage, difficult times parenting. Everything was going wrong that could go wrong. And I couldn't even take myself up with enough strength to go to church. And so I was missing from church for a couple weeks. For some time, I think weeks led into months, I was missing from church just because I was having a really tough time. But I used to get up in the mornings, Saturday mornings, and I would have my worship. My family and I would pray together. We would read the Bible together regularly. We'd still do at home. And when I saw some people from my church, one time I went into town and I saw some people from my church in Montego Bay. I was in Montego Bay, Jamaica at the time. And they walked right past me. These are people who I would sit with every week. We would eat lunch together and they pretend like they looked over me, that they didn't see me. And I thought about that. It occurred to me that I was being shunned. I had heard before that the Adventist church was one of the churches that practiced shunning, but I did not think that it was a real thing until it happened to me. And there was no chance that they didn't see me, right? Because the person I was with, they said hello to. That was a person who I knew who was still going to church. They said hello to that person and completely glossed over me like I was not even there. And so that was the first time I started to think, well, wait, this church practices shunning. Maybe I need to think about it. So I started questioning the church itself, right? But I wasn't questioning Christianity at that time. I started questioning the church. When I started questioning Christianity was when I started looking deeper into some philosophical teachings that I had learned years earlier. One of the things about philosophy is that it helps you to kind of become more aware of how knowledge is acquired, how knowledge is received and processed, and how people justify new knowledge or justify existing knowledge and beliefs when they encounter new information. I had no reason to question what I believed until certain new information came into my life. And then I also thought about, why is it that the people who are always saying that you need to be obedient, you need to not question the Bible, and you need to endure certain hardships, right? Why is it that the people who are always telling us that are always the people who are well off? These people are not going through these hardships. These people don't seem to be enduring anything. Why do you, the congregant, have to endure now for a better life then? And the people who are telling you to do that are enjoying a good life now. Why don't they endure for a better life then? And so I began asking myself these questions. And I think when I started learning about other religions and seeing the similarities in how almost all religions are teaching the exact same message, they're just calling God a different name. It really is just a structural belief system that serves its purpose for many people, you know? And I am not saying that people shouldn't believe in that. You know, if it serves, religion serves its purpose. For many people, it is a source in their lives of, you know, of calm. It is a source of hope. It gives them inspiration and motivation to keep on living, to strive for something. So I am not saying that people should not believe in religion or Christianity for that matter. I don't care what anyone wants to believe in. But what I'm saying for me is that this is just another piece of information that is passed down, except that this piece of information has a specific purpose, and it is to make sure that many people, as many as possible, are obedient to a certain point and don't question things beyond that point. The status quo needs to be maintained. The power structures need to be maintained. And the power structures cannot be maintained if you don't have a large mass of people who are basically subdued. And religion serves that purpose of subduing them. So I just visited the Bronx Museum, and it was very interesting. They were showing a video of some public school kids saying different things that they believe in. And one of them said that he said, I believe that there is no one true religion. Like every religion has a little bit of truth in it, but there is no one true religion. When I started my questioning journey, I used to think that every religion had a little bit of truth in it. But what I now believe is that every religion is designed for what it wants for the specific audience. So it's not that there is truth to it, it's that it is designed for an audience. So the purpose of Christianity, I believe, is to serve as a tool for capitalism, right? To have obedient people for capitalism. I've already said this. And so it is designed for that purpose. And I believe that other religions are also very helpful for capitalism, but culture-wise, in terms of, the cultural aspect of the role that those audiences or those cultures, the peoples from those cultures play in this whole circus that we are under, their design is centered on who it is for and what objective they want to achieve.
The Bible says Jerusalem is the city of God.
They have no problem with a whole group of people being annihilated to fulfill a prophecy. Now we are in Judges 15. He found the jawbone of an ass and he slew 1,000 men unprovoked. And in this story, at all times, when I've heard this story, Samson is a victim. I am just now reading the story with a clear mind, with a different mind, and seeing that Samson was an instigator.